The meeting is now reconvened to open session. The board would like to remind the public that this meeting is being audio and visual recorded. It is also available via live stream for the public through links found on the front page of the RUSD website. We would also like to remind everyone to please enter and exit through the lobby. Trustee Counter, will you please read out action taken in closed session?
Yep. In closed session, the board voted to approve the motion to non-reelect one certificated employee pursuant to Education Code 44929.21. The vote was unanimous. In closed session, the board voted to approve the release and reassignment of certificated administrator and provide him/her notice of this pursuant to Education Code 44951. The vote was unanimous. In closed session, the board voted to approve the release and reassignment of Katie Tweltridge from her current position of .5 ELOP coordinator. The board also voted to reassign her to the position of .5 assistant principal at Rocklin Elementary School for the 24-25 school year. We welcome Ms. Tweltridge to her new position at Rocklin Elementary School and will provide her with notice of this pursuant to Education Code Section 44951. The vote was unanimous.
Thank you, Trustee Counter. Tonight, we have Nayeli Glad from Whitney High School as our student board rep. Nayeli, will you please introduce the color guard and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of the colors by Rocklin Unified School District's Junior ROTC Color Guard and the Pledge of Allegiance. The commander and U.S. flag bearer for this evening's color guard is Cadet Captain Ryan Manning. The state flag is carried by Cadet Captain Sophia Burkhalter. The right guard is Cadet First Lieutenant Christopher Renner. The left guard is Cadet First Lieutenant Kevin Laguna. The alternates for tonight are Cadet Chief Master Sergeant Clayton Hove.
Thank you. Now moving on to our special recognitions and presentations portion of the meeting. Chief Dosanjh, will you please introduce our family partners in education recognition?
Good evening, President Sato, trustees, and Superintendent Stock. The Families Partners in Education program allows the Rocklin Unified School District to recognize family engagement and involvement to help our students achieve excellence during the school year. Victory High School Principal Scott Hutton is introducing the Nikolai family for tonight's Family Partners in Education recognition.
Good evening, President Satov, trustees, Superintendent Stock. I think you've heard me say multiple times that this is absolutely one of my most favorite events, and so not only do I thank you for the opportunity, but I want to publicly thank Sandeep because of his coordination efforts on behalf of all of our sites. So thank you again for that. At Victory High School, we have the unique opportunity, I think, and I say unique because, of course, we're a small school, but we deliberately go out of our way to recognize our students for their academics or attendance and my favorite, good character. But it isn't often that we have the opportunity to honor our families. And of course, we couldn't do the things that we do without their support. And so with that, tonight, it's my pleasure to introduce Lisa Nikolai, whose generosity and time and attention has been instrumental in guiding our school's improvement. As an active participant in our site council, Lisa has provided valuable perspective and recommendations on our most critical plans, and those include comprehensive school safety, local control and accountability, our school culturalization, Title I funding, and in every instance, it's very clear that she is considering our school community. She's putting that at the forefront of every decision that we make. Lisa and her family have been Rocklin residents since 2015 by her younger son of 2. Joined the Cobblestone family in 3rd grade, then moved to Granite Oaks, then Rocklin High School, and is currently an exceptional junior at Victory High School. He's an incredible athlete, Once deemed the soul of the team by his Granite Oaks basketball coach, he is also soft-spoken and incredibly kind. I might be hard-pressed to find a kinder student on our campus. At Victory High School, his athletic skills are highly coveted on the basketball court, as you can imagine. No joking, I'm out there. Everybody wants to be on his team. He's the first one to be picked every time. But his character is what everybody is looking for, the teachers, the staff. I think that is probably the thing that stands out the most in our minds for him. In short, he is a beacon of positivity on our campus. Kai, Lisa's older son, followed a similar academic path through Rocklin Unified and is a proud Rocklin High School graduate of the 2023 class. Lisa spent most of her youth living in poverty. When she was in 6th grade, her family moved her to Indonesia, and while her circumstances didn't change, I think her outlook did. It heightened her awareness, as she tells me, on the importance of being a global citizen. Ultimately, Lisa returned to the United States. She continued her education, and ultimately she earned her master's at Stanford University. Currently, she is the Senior Vice President at Applied Survey Research. Like herself, she raised her boys by the creed, if it's important to you, you'll make it happen. For all that their family does to care for one another and for all that they do for our Victory High School family, they're most deserving of this recognition. Thank you.
I wondered if I could just say a few words. Thank you so much. You're just so eloquent in all that you do and you say, and I can't possibly follow you, but I just wanted to share a little bit about our experience because it helps, hopefully you understand how far we have come. We were here last year for very different reasons. So my son is really a comeback story, and I'm just going to share a bit about that. A little bit nervous, sorry about that. I actually speak all the time for my research presentations, but I've never been a parent in front of a board, so can we talk about data, please? All right, so as the principal said, Bayou was raised, we were here in Rocklin Unified, a good citizen. We were at Cobblestone and did all the things, and then went to Granite Oaks, and then went to Rocklin High. The pandemic, as I'm sure you've heard and seen, maybe personally, but also from other students, just had an incredible toll on our family. And I went seeing my son from being a vibrant, just the star of every place he went, and just a light bulb, to being slouched over his table and trying to do distance learning and not having a good time of it. We finally got some help from the Falcon Advantage program at Granite Oaks, just started to reach out for help. He entered Rocklin High as a freshman. It got worse, it just sort of was falling apart. We had a diagnosis of ADHD and anxiety in the springtime, asked for help with the district. The district was overwhelmed with student need at that time. I ended up actually taking him out of school for the rest of the semester and kind of homeschooling him at my office. The summer went okay. Fall of sophomore year, got into some trouble, and so we actually left the district for about a year or so, completed what we had to do. When I was looking at about where we could come back to, I discovered Victory High, and just from the moment I walked in the door, whether it be the meeting with the lady at the front desk taking attendance, or the registrar, or with Principal Hutton, it's like, you just feel the goodness of the people that are there. And it's not to say we didn't feel that at Rocklin High, it's just a huge environment. And I could really see from our past experiences at some alternative education before we came to Victory that my son really does better in a smaller environment with eyes on him and hands on him, just making sure that he's doing okay. And that's what we've received at Victory High. So I'm totally off my notes, but from the heart, I just want you to know just how incredible of a job this team is doing. And I really feel like they're saving lives. I do research with youth, and I see suicide ideation and things like that. And when I hear what's going on at that school and how much they're trying to lift up those kids and make sure that they feel seen and heard, I just can't imagine what it would look like if we didn't have schools and people like this working for our kids. So do more of that. Thank you.
Thank you. We have some cupcakes for you and the certificate, but really just thank you for all that you're doing. We need parents like you that really contribute and step up, and so appreciate it. And we know Victory is a special place because we know that there are smaller numbers and amazing teachers and staff that really make such a big difference. So we're so glad you're there and you found a place that you love, and your family's contributing as well. We just appreciate you and are so grateful. So thank you so much. That's for you.
Thank you, Lisa, for your willingness to share your story, and thank you to the entire team at Victory. Chief Dosanjh, will you please now introduce our employee recognition for the evening?
President Sadoff, trustees, and Superintendent Stock, tonight for our employee recognition, Sunset Ranch Elementary School Principal Lori Kircher will join us to introduce Cache Abedi.
Good evening, everyone. Trustees, President Sitoff, and Superintendent Stock, thank you so much for having me here. This is such an honor and a privilege to stand here before you. As you can see, we have quite the little representation from Sunset Ranch, all because I am bringing you tonight our employee from Sunset Ranch, most valued employee. She's amazing, and also likewise in Rocklin Unified. She's been with us for quite some time. So I'm just going to read this. When Google searching school secretary, up pops a plethora of memes, things that are funny and things that are serious. Some of them include secretaries are the core of the school. I'm a school secretary, not a magician, but I can see how you might get confused. I'm a school secretary. I solve problems you don't even know you have in ways you can't understand. If at first you don't succeed, try doing what a school secretary told you to do the first time. School secretary, letter drafting, people connecting, teacher supporting, chaos coordinating, life-changing, multitasking, queen of the office, AKA superhuman. And finally, I'm not just a school secretary. I'm a big cup of wonderful, covered in awesome sauce with a splash of sassy and a dash of love. All of these, and then some, apply to Sunset Ranch School Secretary, or as she is known at the ranch, the office manager, Cache Abedi. I have a little bit more, sorry. Cache is a one-of-a-kind human for certain. She's a quick learner, so much so that many other secretaries across the district seek out her input and expertise, even though this is only her third full year in this position. Cache takes a genuine interest in supporting the entire school community. This is evidenced by her involvement in our school site council, numerous interview panels, which she gets drugged to by me, joining the PBIS Tier 1 committee, spearheading the culture crew team, making an invested interest in our equity and school leadership, professional development. She even coordinates all of the IEP, 504, and SST meetings for all of our case managers, which is an incredible amount of work. And having attended breakthrough coaching, she does all she can to manage me, which is quite the task as well, even down to making certain I get an occasional Starbucks and also make sure I eat lunch. Cache cares deeply about the education of the whole child. She can be found assisting students who are paying a visit to the office for scraped knees and elbows, a stomach ache, a conflict on the playground, or just those needing an extra bit of love and encouragement. She is a positive, friendly, and caring representation of the ranch and of Rocklin Unified School District. She is professional yet personable. Her goal is to make everyone else's load a little lighter and to bring joy to others. She not only wears all the hats on campus, she rocks those hats. Cache works well beyond her hours and far surpasses the duties that are listed under her job title. She continues to keep the staff feeling all loved and supported. Sunset Ranch is better because of Cache, and we are truly honored to recognize her and her contribution to this site.
That was wonderful. Thank you for sharing all that. And thank you so much, Cache. I love your name too. It's beautiful. But just, you definitely wear so many hats. Thank you for taking the extra steps and going the extra mile to do everything that you do. I think we all know school secretary, often the first face that you see when you walk into a school, and can so often make all the difference, but clearly you go above and beyond, and your cheerleading crew is obviously a testament to the impact that you have there at Sunset Ranch, and we're very grateful for you.
She will too soon enough. Let's go take a photo.
We'd like to take a moment to thank all the families and staff that joined us this evening. While you are more than welcome to stay for the remainder of the meeting, we also know you have busy lives and want to be respectful. It is fully appropriate for you to sneak out at this point. Thank you again for coming. Thank you. With that being said, trustees, we will now move on with our agenda. Item 6.1, our TPA president, Travis Mojet, he has notified us that he had another commitment this evening, so he will be sending his report via email. Additionally, item 6.2, CSCA president Bettina Hart has notified us that there is nothing to report this evening. Moving on to item 7.1, comments and report from our student board representative. Nayali, will you please share your report?
Good evening, trustees and Superintendent Stock. Quarry Trail held their second annual fun run. The PTC and the students were able to raise over $50,000. A portion of these funds will be used to sponsor the Quarry Trail Dance Show. The students of Quarry Trail have been practicing dances for the last several weeks in preparation for their dance show. The dance show will take place March 12th through the 14th from 6 to 7 p.m. each night. Quarry Trail PTC is planning its spring carnival to take place in April. In third grade, Brain is beginning their study of Rocklin history. They are learning about rocks, rails, and ranches. They will become a member of one of the famous historical Rocklin families and learn about how that family contributed to Rocklin's rich history. Their unit of study will culminate with a walking tour of Old Rocklin and a visit to the Rocklin History Museum. Their walking and museum tours will be led by retired third grade teachers from Rocklin Unified. In the independent living skills class, they are learning about national symbols and holidays and what makes their community unique and special. Their unit also includes learning about their American flag and other symbols such as the bald eagle. Rock Creek students, staff, and families enjoyed watching their students shine during the annual talent show during the week of February 12th, and families shared a special evening together in the land of Wonka at this year's PTC-sponsored family dance held on February 16th. Upcoming events include PTC-sponsored family skate night on March 7th, and their fourth graders will visit the California Railroad Museum on March 12th. Rocklin Elementary hosted its annual family STEM night, which was a great success. Bulldog Country is proud to offer a plethora of after-school clubs and free evening events that allow families to engage in some sort of fun learning together. Next month, on April 18th, Rocklin Elementary will be hosting a family math night. Antelope Creek students wrapped up their dancing program Dancing Through the Decades last month. Students practiced dances for several weeks during PE class and held performances for the community the week before February break. Students delivered the moves during 2 nights of sold-out shows for the community. Antelope Creek leadership students are once again beginning to set up a fundraiser in partnership with the Whitney High School, where they raise funding for leukemia research. Whitney leadership and Antelope Creek leadership have partnered to raise thousands of dollars for this cause over the past several years. Spark the Arts Magnet teachers have started to identify and design integrated standards-based units in ELA and social studies. A unit organizer has been initiated, and further professional development and collaboration is being planned in the future to continue to work towards units of study that integrate the visual, performing, and media arts with existing standards and curriculum. An art museum is also the works for open house night to show off student creations and have been completed throughout the year. At Sierra Elementary, they are proud that 2 of their 5th graders have advanced to the county spelling bee, and they wish them the best of luck. Their student council, led by Miss Balzer and Miss Reyes, is underway planning for their 3rd year of Bucks for Blood Cancer Coin Drive fundraiser through the leadership of Whitney High's Student Visionary of the Year Club, which supports the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. They are learning so much from the Wildcat leaders and appreciate all their support with modeling this type of philanthropic leadership in their community. It's a fun time of year for field trips. This month, 3rd graders are visiting the Bernard Museum, TKers are going to the Rocklin Community Theater to see Seussical Jr., and 6th graders are visiting Springview to see what lies ahead in middle school. Most of these field trips would not be possible without the generous donations from their parents and scholarship support from their student council fundraisers. During conference week, as part of Sierra's International Baccalaureate program, Sierra Sharks will participate in student-led conferences, who did not already do theirs in the fall, which help develop qualities from the IB learner profile while providing a chance for students to show their work to their parents. These may involve a variety of opportunities for students to communicate their knowledge, including students reflecting upon work samples, including portfolios, students demonstrating and practicing their understanding of concepts and skills, and students reflecting on setting goals. At Sunset Ranch, they are developing some fun things to contribute to their positive school culture. Their school is beginning a fun and engaging way to begin each of their Friday mornings with their new High Five Fridays. Their student leadership team will be personally welcoming all student body to school each Friday morning with a high five. In addition, they are having a Rochambeau Day wherein they are doing a challenge between staff and students, with the final challenge being held at the end of the day at a whole school assembly. They are also gearing up for their family book fair and their first annual international fair on March 19th, 2024. Many cultures will be displayed and shared with their community this evening, and they look forward to an enriching time. On March 8th, the Twin Oaks Timberwolves will participate in the Fun Run fundraiser. They have raised over $20,000 as of today. Later on in the afternoon, there will be a 3rd to 6th grade PBIS pack party where students will have a movie and popcorn party in the den. Looking ahead, on March 13th, Granite Oaks is scheduled to visit Twin Oaks, offering valuable insights to 6th grade students about what to anticipate in middle school. March 15th marks Wear Green Spirit Day, and kindergarten through 2nd graders will have their PBIS pack party. They will have a glow stick dance party in the den. Staff in Twin Oaks started a new tradition this year, which was supported by their collaboration funds. Every Friday after school, staff is invited for pickleball on the blacktop. March 7th is Springview Middle School's Showcase Night. The week of March 11th, Springview is hosting 6th grade campus tours. They are excited to meet their future Eagles. Victory High and the Rocklin Alternative Education Center on February 1st hosted their annual career fair, coordinated by their amazing site council, Lil Dale, and instructional aide, Deborah and Caldo. Representatives from various organizations including Rocklin Police and Fire, Rocklin City, South Placer Rotary, Sierra College, and Relentless Rescue provided insight and inspiration into potential career, college, and vocational opportunities. A special thanks to Superintendent Stock for taking time out of his busy schedule to participate. Also, Victory High's student body recently participated in the LCAP Student Forum. A special thanks to Hannah Anderson, Director of Innovation and School Programs, for facilitating the session, and to Trustee Price, Superintendent Stock, and Associate Superintendent Flowers for your participation and support. Finally, the Victory High Interact Club is once again putting service before self by hosting its annual blood drive. As a reminder, every donation can save up to 3 lives, so please join them on Friday, March 15th from 9:15 to 1:15 in support of this incredibly important cause. At Rocklin High School, they have been busy winding down winter sports and scheduling classes for the 2024-2025 school year. Their boys basketball won the first outright SFL League championship since 2009 and made it to the D1 section semifinals, losing to Lincoln of Stockton. Other winter sports highlights were their girls soccer, also lost in the section semifinalists in PKs to Granite Bay. And a huge congratulations to Lady Wrestler Gemma Templeman for winning the CIF state championship in the 235 division, the first ever state champion in RHS history. Way to go, Gemma. Lastly, their VAPA department was on full display this past weekend, putting on 6 performances on the musical How to Succeed at Business Without Really Trying, with over 80 students, including cast, crew, musicians. Well done. Whitney is accomplishing some incredible things. Our annual Black and White fundraiser held by the Leadership Fundraising Committee was last Friday. The theme was Classy Country. Attendants enjoyed their meals and bid for baskets during the auction. The event raised over $18,000, which will go to rallies, dances, scholarships, a new mascot suit, and so much more. Also, our Spring Spirit Week kickoff is on Monday. The theme for the week is Despicable Me, and it will include LTAs, Spring Spirit Days, and a rally on Friday. The rally is upperclassmen Yellow Minions versus lowerclassmen Purple Minions. We are excited to see which class is won in a Minion. The leadership program also received the Outstanding Leadership Program Award from the California Association of Student Leaders. By qualifying to receive this reward, the officers and I submitted 8 essays, a principal testimony, and a student leader testimony, as well as a student testimony and a Meet the Pros applicant. This was an amazing accomplishment for our program, and we are so honored to receive it. Our Whitney Wildcat girls basketball team made history. For the second year in a row, they are the CIF section champs. Playing in the opening round of the NorCal State playoffs, the girls came out and played a great game versus Piedmont Highlanders, led by senior guards Harper Peterson and Sammy Schuler, and junior post player Tylee Kitchen. The girls shut down the Highlanders en route to a 53-41 win, 12-point win. The win marked the first ever state playoff victory for the Whitney girls basketball program. A huge congrats goes out to Coach Gatson, Coach Kane, Coach Willis, and all of the girls. Last but not least, Alex Madej and Anthony Berg were state qualifiers for the CIF state tournament. Alex Madej finished second and Anthony Berg finished 5th at the California State Wrestling Championships. Congrats to them and their amazing accomplishments. And that's all I have. Thank you. all.
Thank you for that incredible report. I was taking notes on some of those dates. Lots of many incredible opportunities. Thank you again for highlighting the many great things that our campuses are hosting and doing and engaging in the community. Trustees, at this point, do you have any board comments you would like to share?
All right, trustees, I want to report to you some wonderful things that are going on out in our schools. Nothing like Nayeli's report, but just from some visits that I was able to do looking at math programs. I started at Rock Creek with Bevan Graham, and I went into Kristen Campbell's first grade room, where she was doing Numbers Corner with whiteboards, and the kids were so well trained. They were amazing. It was an exemplary classroom management, and she made it lots of fun. I then went to Heather McCoy's second grade classroom, where she was having the kids combine and simplify numbers, and she was making math so much fun and using hand signals to show understanding. Then I went into Olivia Ortiaga's third grade classroom. By the way, I apologize if I mispronounce anybody's name. I will do my best. She was doing number patterns with challenges to extrapolate, and the kids loved the challenge. They were super excited to collaborate with each other. And then I went into Michelle Hutton's sixth grade class. Michelle was full of enthusiasm, excitement, and joy, and you could feel it in every part of her room. Then we headed over to Rucola with Laura Kikosicki, and we went into Rich Garza's sixth grade room. Rich was rocking a thinking classroom, working on groups CPM testing. Then to Chelsea DeVinagracia's second grade room, where she was doing Numbers Corner. Chelsea had a super fun and engaging routine for learning math strategies. Then to Sarah Gardetto's first grade classroom, where they were playing fraction bingo and having a super fun time. The class was totally excited and engaged in the process. Then over to Granite Oaks with Jay Holmes. We went into Christina Paul's Integrated 1. Christina was helping the kids prep for a test with fun Falcon Bucks rewards. Then over to John Costa, where he was doing building thinking classrooms, and he had 11 stations set up around the room. Everyone who was doing building thinking classrooms, the kids were so engaged and loving it. Then to Andrea Wood's intervention, super creative, and I just happened to be there on a day when they were doing the yoga mats, which she said they don't do every day, but all the desks and chairs were pushed against the walls, and they just were laying on yoga mats doing their work, and they loved it so much, got to take their shoes off and everything. Then to, I'm going to not say this name right. I can say her first name, Svetlana, and then her last name, Sush, it looks like. It's her second year teaching here. Her first year in math. She was super organized, and her class was reviewing for a test. Then over to Whitney High School with Penny. Penny was awesome to show me around, Penny Shelton. And we went first to Jennifer Hodges' Integrated 3, and she was doing building thinking classrooms, and she had 12 whiteboards set up around the room, and the kids were working quietly and cooperatively and having a great time figuring things out. And then to Shakira Dorton and Abby Pena's combined, they dual taught Integrated 2, and they were doing building thinking classrooms, and they had 12 whiteboards set up around the room, and the teachers were just constantly moving around, talking to the kids, helping the kids, guiding the kids, getting them moving on to the next thing. Very engaged. And then to Lona Armstrong's Integrated 3, she was also doing building thinking classrooms, and by the time we got in there, because she was later in the day, they had tons of work already up on the boards. I didn't understand any of it. But the kids did, and they were having a great time. So much excitement and enthusiasm learning this way, standing up at the boards and working together in teams and partnerships. And Miss Armstrong just moved around the room and was engaged with the kids and encouraging cooperation with the kids. And it was boys and girls working together, girls and girls working together, different skill levels working together, and they were just totally cooperating. And this was a theme throughout the district. It was so amazing to go in. Every class was amazing. The teachers were amazing. The kids were totally engaged and having an awesome time. So it was quite enjoyable getting around to the classrooms. And that's it for this time.
Nayeli, congratulations about the Leadership Award. That's awesome. You said you had to write 8 essays. What were the essays about?
Okay, so the essays are just reflecting on the whole program.
Okay.
So we kind of split it up, so 2 per. But I know mine were like reflecting on maybe clubs or cultures that we didn't recognize as much as we should, and like how we can improve on that or how we are currently improving. And then also like creating like a safe climate, how like our leadership program tries to like promote safety and inclusivity. But some of the essays were just about how we get student representation and like student opinion. So we were kind of talking about like our student senate. But just a big reflection on the program as a whole and just every aspect of what we do. So,
That is
yeah.
awesome. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Such a great experience and something definitely for you guys to be proud of. So thank you for sharing that. I just am really excited about how music is going in our district, and really excited. I know Superintendent Stock was able to attend the mega concert last night, where we had our band students from Springview, Granite Oaks, Whitney, and Rocklin all performing. And I mean, I don't want to steal your thunder. Maybe you were going to talk about it, but just really impressed with them and grateful for the teachers that are putting so much effort into those programs. In addition, we have amazing teachers all over, and just wanted to highlight one, Holly Cable at Rock Creek. She, every week after school on her own time, does yoga club. And I attended this week. It was actually quite delightful. Their range, she said she usually gets between there were 35 to 55 kids. And it's 45 minutes, shoes off. Of course, we had mats, and these kids know their poses better than I do. It was really, really, really awesome, and also really impressive to see the great job she did teaching them breathing and just some lifelong skills I think that'll serve them well. So grateful for all of those teachers, and just wanted to highlight her specifically.
So it's been a little while. I attended both the Rocklin High School and Whitney High School showcase nights a while back, which was really enjoyable. I was just so impressed by what the teachers had done to highlight their program and what they offer to students, and was maybe even more impressed by the students who were there late on campus, super enthusiastic about their elective or their sport, and just helping to get the new incoming students acclimated to the campus. We also had our community schools group wrap last week, and I just wanted to thank all of the parents and the staff who were there to help facilitate. But I know between that and the LCAP parent meeting that we also just had that I was able to sit in on, it's time consuming and it takes some homework and some research, and I think we're all just very appreciative to those who are able to make it. I know not everyone can make it, but it really does provide some valuable insights. At the LCAP meeting, being able to go and kind of sit in on each table as they kind of talked through the different goals for the LCAP was just really insightful to kind of hear how people take their own family experiences and their child's experiences and kind of help to apply what they've learned to these bigger concepts that we're trying to tackle in the district. I also, tomorrow, can tell you that Springview is having their showcase night because I may be attending that, and I'm kind of terrified and also very excited for a dare to be going to Springview next year, so that's happening. And then another just little plug, next Friday, Parker Whitney is having a casino night fundraiser. It's the first year they're doing that. It should be fun. I've helped them with their events for many years, and I will be serving appetizers there. So just a little plug to try to sell some tickets there. I'm sure it will be a great time.
So, thank you, Nayeli. I had most of all that stuff written down, but you presented it a lot better than I will. So I thank you for that. So just want to say congratulations to all the athletes in the winter events, boys basketball, girls basketball, boys soccer, girls soccer, all of them that went through the playoffs and went through that. It's just amazing to see and a great representation of our high schools and our events. Specifically, Whitney High School, Anthony Berg and Alex Madej went to the state meets, which if you're not a wrestling parent or haven't been around it, it's the time, the commitment to be out there, to go through the grind and to make it to a state event is amazing. And then especially Gemma Templeman, who is the first ever state champ at Rocklin High School, which is a really cool event. I mean, that puts her in the books for the rest of her life. And so great to see that. The Whitney High School girls basketball team, back-to-back state champs. That's another first ever for them. So again, amazing to them. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to all of them. Thank you to all the coaches. Thank you to all those parents. Thank you to all that time that has gone through, especially from a parent's community, getting them there, following up, being at the events and the sport. So thank you to all that. And then congratulations to the athletes. And then just looking forward to the Unified Games on March 21st. So looking forward to that. That's always a fun event.
Well, the con of going last is everybody hits most of the things on your list. So I will echo my support for the music mega band, as it's kindly referred to in the community. RHS, WHS, GOMS, SVMS, all coming together. 4 bands, 4 directors, hundreds of kids. I just think what a beautiful opportunity to celebrate music and just the incredible benefits of music in our lives. So shout out to all the families and students that participated in that. Additionally, I had the Unity game, March 21. My family personally always looks forward to attending that every year. I think it's a beautiful opportunity for our community to come together and show everyone with action that we are one community and that we are united. celebrated. And so we look forward to that every year. And again, March 21st. And then also, I did not give this person a heads up, but a little birdie told me that we have something to celebrate, somebody in this room. California School Public Relations Association awarded us 3 awards of excellence and an award of merit, and specifically named our Chief Communications and Community Engagement Director, Chief Dosanjh, as the 2024 Communicator of the Year, and I wanted to celebrate that publicly. If I'm honest, we give you a lot of work, I'm sure, at times for your job. And so I want to publicly, I joke, but I also say thank you. Thank you for what you do for our district. Thank you for communicating so well out in the community, the goals, the values of this entire district. And so, Chief Dosanjh, it's important that we celebrate you tonight and the incredible work you've done this last year and actually years before that. So thank you again and congratulations on the recognition. Superintendent Stock, how many did we steal from your list?
I've been crossing off, but just I want to just thank you, President Setoff, for recognizing the excellence of Chief Dosanjh, and it's not a surprise that those of us that get to see his work day in, day out, year in, year out, and that is, it's significant. It's a statewide organization, and it's chosen by your peers, and so it is a significant achievement, and so we're very proud of that, and thank you for recognizing it. I did have the opportunity, because a little birdie told me that I was actually able to be there, and it was great to see the look on his face, because it was a total surprise. We also, if you thought the mega band concert was fun, we have mega choir, we have mega jazz band, we have mega strings, and they're all occurring in different weeks throughout the month of March, and they're on our website. They're also can find them on the school website, so they're free and they're open, and it's just amazing to see the talent that our children have. And it'd be exciting to see that grows as we've implemented our full music program in our elementary schools this year, so we're excited for the future of music education in Rocklin. Also, we've, at the board's direction, been doing more parent education opportunities. We had our One Pill Can Kill Parent University segment last week, and we're so grateful to the Placer County District Attorneys, Laura Didier, and was there as well, and just, sharing that message of the importance of engaging with our children around that with the fentanyl crisis, that we need to really reach out and make sure students know that really literally one pill can kill. And our Parent University series continues on March 18th. We'll be talking about college planning. For those of you entering middle school and other places, it's a great opportunity to engage with our professionals around thinking about college planning, and that'll be at Whitney High School, 6 p.m. March 18th, and there's more information on our website as well and through Parent Square. And then lastly, I would just add that we have been very appreciative of all the work of our staff as these incredible storms have rocked through our community. We have countless colleagues that are out in all weather conditions, making sure that gutters are cleaned, storm drains are cleared, and that our schools and facilities are ready to go for our students. And it just takes an incredible amount of effort in all weathers to do that. And we really appreciate their continued work to make sure our schools are ready to go for our kids.
Thank you, Superintendent Stock. Okay, moving on now to item 8.1, consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are to be considered routine and will be enacted by one motion followed by a roll call vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless the Board of Trustees requests specific items to be removed from the consent calendar for separate discussion and action. Any items removed will be voted upon following the motion to approve the consent calendar. Does any trustee wish to remove an item from the consent calendar for separate discussion and action? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve consent agenda items?
So moved.
First by Trustee Sutherland. Second. Second by Trustee Hupp. Georgia, will you please call the roll?
Nayeli Glode,
Yes.
Julie Hupp,
Yes.
Rochelle Price,
Yes.
Derek Counter,
Yes.
Michelle Sutherland,
Yes.
Tiffany Sadoff.
Yes. Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, moving on to action items. Action item 9.1. Bill McDonald, Associate Superintendent of Elementary Education, will you please present item 9.1, action on 2nd through 5th grade science adoption, McGraw-Hill Inspire Science?
It would be my pleasure. Thank you very much, President Sadoff, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Stock. I'm excited to bring our recommendation back to you tonight after the public viewing period. We did present this recommendation for adoption of a grade 2 through 5 science curriculum on January 17th to the board. Some of the reasons, again, rehashing that, is that our curriculum committee voted that it was a engaging, hands-on curriculum. It was easy to implement. It fit well with our existing curriculum. It's engaging for students. It had a lot of hands-on opportunities. Teachers found it easy to customize, easy to use, and then it would fully prepare our students for the California Science Test. The estimated cost of the adoption was about $550,000 for an 8-year adoption. We had a public review process, as is required by Ed Code, for a minimum of 30 days, so we've well exceeded 30 days. We talked about before being committed to making a recommendation, the recommendation available to parents for viewing during this period. We did that in a number of ways. We had hard copies of the curriculum here at the district office. Grades 2 through 5 were available for viewing during the entire period from January 18th through March 6th. We had digital access to the curriculum available for all community to view the entire curriculum online. We hosted a parent informational webinar on the 31st of January where we had representatives from the curriculum from McGraw-Hill there to talk about the curriculum. We had a virtual feedback form available to the community and a website available to facilitate the access process. If the board would approve the McGraw-Hill curriculum tonight, we would move forward with purchasing that curriculum for grades 2 through 5, hopefully have it delivered to school sites by the end of the school year. Professional development would be delivered to teachers in grades 2 through 5 on April 1st. With the new curriculum and the next generation science standards. We would follow up training next year with additional formal training and grade level meetings and coaching. And we are committed to supporting this program, providing materials, providing training throughout the adoption, and then hosting additional parent information nights in the coming years. So tonight I'm here to request that you approve the recommendation made by the K-5 Science Committee comprised of teachers, parents, and administrators to adopt McGraw-Hill Inspire Science in grades 2 through 5. And I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. McDonald. Trustees, any comments or questions for Dr. McDonald?
Just thank you for all your hard work.
Of course.
Thank you. I do have a question. Sure. I just wanted to connect with you a little bit. I know we got to email back and forth offline, but just for those that wrote in, I did see multiple questions about translatable materials. There were multiple parents asking about for students that may speak another language. Could you share with the public what options we have available to them to answer those questions?
Yeah, one of the factors that the committee looked at is, as you know, we have a great growing dual language program for Spanish, and we know this curriculum is available in both English and Spanish, so it can be used in that program. Also, the online edition of the curriculum has a translation tool that can utilize as a Google Translator to translate the curriculum into any language we would seek. So we do have that capability.
Thank you for clarifying. I know I got the physical copy, and when I saw those questions coming in, I went, I'm assuming, but let's go ahead and clarify. So thank you for looking into that for us.
Great question.
Any other questions from the board before we go to public comment? Okay. It does look like we have a couple public comment cards, so we'll go ahead and move on to public comment. And remember, these are public comments for this agenda item. Seeing that we have two, I will go ahead and now invite Robert Sharif to come to the front. If you could please, you'll see on the screen, notify the board of your, it looks like graduated from Rocklin. I'll let you share a little bit about yourself then, whether you live in Rocklin or not, if you have students within Rocklin Unified. And then on deck, we have Bruce Yandel.
Hi, Robert Sheriff. I've lived in Rocklin for 22 years. My children attended Rocklin schools. 32 years science teacher, now retired. 25 years of staff development for implementing NGSS with teachers. I was a member of the California Science Expert Panel that recommended NGSS to the State Board of Education, co-chair of the Curriculum Frameworks Committee, which provided a framework for implementing NGSS to the State Board of Education, and finally, advisory board member for Public Policy Institute of California on the impact of COVID on implementing NGSS. Briefly, because I could go on for hours, NGSS is based on the latest brain research, and it's not just about the what of science, but also the how of science, how you teach it, and the why. The State Board recommended that schools start their implementation process by 2015, so I want to recognize that it's now 9 years later, and a group of Rocklin teachers, parents, and other stakeholders chose a recognized NGSS curriculum for their children and students, but some members voted against it. I'm glad to see you have another one, which is also good. So you didn't honor their hard work. That's very disappointing. And so I'd like to end, though, with a quote from John Dewey, the famous educational reformer, who in 1944 said, "If we teach today's students as we taught yesterday's, then we rob them of tomorrow." And so stop robbing our students and children of their tomorrow and vote for this curriculum for NGSS. Bring them into the 21st century science. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Up next, Bruce Yandel.
Hi, I'm a parent of Quarry Trail Elementary, and you've seen me before. Thank you, Dr. McDonald, and thank you, Roger Stock, for spearheading this program a second time. I think we're at a point now where if we don't approve this program, where are we? What are we going to do? What's our plan? We're at the end of the road, and I think that there's no other choice but to approve this program. It's a second program that we've approved and gone through the review process. I don't know what else you're going to ask of this community and the parents and the teachers, what other kind of support you're going to need to actually get this program approved. We need to move forward because, quite frankly, math is next, and the teachers are already talking about the need to get the math program going. So let's streamline this process. You've got parents involved. We've had serious review of this program. Let's move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. Seeing no other comment, are there further questions, or is there a call for a motion for the curriculum?
So moved. I'll second.
Okay. A motion to, let me clarify, is the motion to approve science adoption for McGraw-Hill Inspire?
Yes.
Same second?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, well, seeing a first by Trustee Price and a second by Trustee Sutherland. Georgia, will you please call the roll?
Nayeli Glode,
Yes.
Julie Hupp,
Yes.
Rochelle Price,
Yes.
Derek Counter,
Yes.
Michelle Sutherland,
Yes.
Tiffany Sadoff.
Yes, motion passes. Thank you. Thank you to everybody who participated. Thank you again to Dr. McDonald for your work on the project. Okay, moving on to item 9.2. This is an action on Resolution 23-24-31. I would like to, apologies. To initiate a transition to bi-trustee area election system commencing with 2024 Board of Trustees election. This item will actually be presented to us by Superintendent Stock.
President Sadoff and trustees, the resolution before you tonight on this action item is in response to the demand letter threatening costly litigation that the district received on January 22nd from the law firm of Shankman and Hughes, a Southern California law firm that is well documented in sending these demand letters to locally elected bodies in California, including recently to other school districts in Placer County. That demand that they switch from at-large elections to a bi-trustee area elections where each trustee needs to reside within a designated trustee area boundary and is only elected by the voters in that trustee area in order to be in compliance with the California Voting Rights Act. After consultation with legal counsel, and in order to avoid costly litigation that has for the last decade not resulted in a successful legal challenge to these types of demand letters, this resolution is being brought forward to the board for their consideration. Additionally, if the board chooses to adopt this resolution, a timeline of the process that the district would follow to complete the process is attached to this item. And additionally, the district would add information in a special section of the RUSD website that would provide members of the public with additional information throughout the process and opportunities for input.
Trustees, do we have any comments or questions for Superintendent Stock?
I just wonder if you could maybe cover a little bit what would happen if we, or what would probably happen if we chose not to approve the resolution.
The California Voting Rights Act has been in place for a decade or so in California, and there have been numerous locally elected bodies from cities to school districts to others, even water districts, that have sought to challenge it because they feel that the demand to move from at-large to districts does not meet their community needs. And each time entities have been unsuccessful in prevailing in that challenge to it. Most recently, the California State Supreme Court had a challenge from the Santa Monica, Malibu area related to this, and even strengthened the finding that once these demands are submitted, even if they come outside the local area, is needed to move in that direction to comply. The threshold is actually quite low that would trigger a district in needing to do so, and the litigation tends to be quite costly, and given the track record of not being able to have successful challenges, it really made a determination for us to bring this forward to you.
Not to belabor it, but would you mind, when you say quite costly, would you give some examples of what that looks like?
Some of the examples that we've seen come out of other jurisdictions, depending how far they move towards this, is several hundreds of thousands of dollars, up to close to $1 million, depending on the type of case and the different levels that this works through. And so it's a significant sum.
Yeah, I guess so. And then I guess the other side of it, again, going through this process, do you have a rough kind of ballpark timeline and high-level steps? And then what would we be expecting to kind of, like, what is this going to cost the district is where I'm going.
The attached timeline is there are required steps to move to this type of process, and in the attachment that the time frame would be that we're looking for the convenience of our community to incorporate the public hearings to as many of our regular board meetings as possible. And so if the board were to adopt this, then we would have the first pre-map hearing on March 20th during our board meeting, and that's an opportunity for the community to share their interest in what that might look like before any maps or districts or area are created. The board would then hold a second public hearing on April 3rd. It would be a special board meeting to have that public hearing, but it's on our first Wednesday of the month, which is a typical board meeting day. And then on April 17th, there would be the first public hearing to consider maps that are created by a demographer. And in the process, districts hire a demographer to hear input, use their expertise to create options, and receives input from the community. And so the demographer would then present the board with some maps as an option, and there will be a hearing on that. And then on May 1st would be the second public hearing on the proposed maps that the board would have. And then on May 15th, there would be a potential, there would be public hearing and potential adoption of trustee area maps at that regular board meeting. And then from there, you would think we'd be done, but oh no. Then school districts in the state of California and community college districts have another body that approves any boundaries or any changes to election boundaries or districts, and that's called the county committee. And so then the recommendation or what's adopted by our board would go to the county committee, and then the county committee would review that, and if they approve it, then it goes to the register of voters for implementation. And the cost is, when we get a demand letter like this, there is a cost to settle that demand letter. And that's and that's typically, and in this case, around $38,000-$40,000 estimated. And then there's a cost to hire a demographer, which is around $38,000. Then there's additional, if there's additional, for example, staff overtime for public hearings and things, then we would incur those costs. There's also, because this is a very highly regulated and legalized process, that the district would retain legal counsel to advise it to make sure it's in full compliance throughout the process, so there could be additional expense related to that. And we're at least at 80. I would probably estimate probably close to $100,000 as an estimate that we would use, and then depending on the extent of input and numbers of public hearings and things, the cost could escalate.
Okay, we do have one public comment on this agenda item. So at this time, I would like to welcome to the podium Harley Larson.
Hello, Board. Harley Larson, Breen, Rocklin. It seems pretty clear that the fiduciary duty of this board is to implement this. Roger, you just said over $1 million if they don't comply. So I think it's probably a done deal. I would hope so, although I do look forward to any further comments that you all have. On the topic of school board elections, I recently read about cities across the country passing bills allowing students 16 and older to vote in local school board elections. I believe this would be an invaluable civic engagement tool for our students to help prepare them for the future. As such, per board policy 9323, I am formally requesting an agenda item be added to discuss supporting such a measure and working to see it implemented here in Rocklin. Students, you can pre-register to vote at 16 years of age. You can do this online, and the high schools are providing voter pre-registration forms. Sign up today. Thank you.
Seeing no other public comment, trustees, any further questions? Or call for a motion?
So moved.
Motion to approve?
Motion to
Resolution attached? Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, there's a first by Trustee Hupp and a second by Trustee Sutherland. Georgia, will you please call the roll?
Nayeli Glode,
Yes.
Julie Hupp,
Yes.
Rochelle Price,
Yes.
Derek Counter,
Yes.
Michelle Sutherland,
Yes.
Tiffany Sadoff.
Yes. Motion passes. Okay, at this time, we're moving on to item 9.3. We'll ask Tony Limoges, Associate Superintendent of Human Resources, to present item 9.3, action on Resolution 232426.
Thank you, President Sadoff. Good evening, trustees, Superintendent Stock, Ms. Georgia. In accordance with education codes aforementioned listed below, governing boards of school districts are authorized to lay off or reduce classified management employees for lack of work and or lack of funds, and directed to give notice of reduction of services to the infected employee of the district pursuant to the district rules and regulations and applicable provisions of education code. What I'm presenting for you on 9.3 is approval of Resolution 232426, a resolution authorizing the layoff of 1.0 full-time equivalent FTE of classified management position pursuant to the Ed Code listed below, effective June 30th, 2024. So understand that this will be coming into effect June 30th, but applicable to law, any layoffs would have to be shared by no later than March 15th. This is the preliminary notice phase that we talk about. The final notice does not come till May, as per education code. So what I'm recommending is a motion to approve Resolution 232426, a resolution authorizing the reduction of a classified management pursuant to education code sections, and I'll read them all this time, 454101, 45114, 45117, 45289, and 4530. Sorry about that.
Trustees, do we have questions? No? Just a point of clarification. Thank you for presenting this item. I know towards the beginning of your comments, you had mentioned that this often happens due to lack of work or lack of funds. And just to clarify, this is due to lack of work, meaning this position is no longer needed to achieve the work that it originally did.
Yes, you are correct. It is due to lack of work. We are doing a reorganization or some form of reorganization in one of our departments.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
Certainly.
Seeing no public comment on this item. Seeing no public comment and no further questions, is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
First by Trustee Counter, second by Trustee Price. Georgia, will you please call the roll?
Nayeli Glode.
Yes.
Julie Hupp.
Yes.
Rochelle Price.
Yes.
Derek Counter.
Yes.
Michelle Sutherland.
Yes.
Tiffany Sadoff.
Yes, motion passes. We'll move on to item 9.4. Dr. Limoges, if you can continue with action on Resolution 232425.
Thank you, President Sadoff. In accordance with the listed education code sections, governing boards of school districts are authorized to lay off or reduce classified employees for lack of work and/or lack of funds, and directed to give notice of reduction of services to the affected employees of the district pursuant to district rules and regulations and applicable provisions of the education code not later than March 15th. So that is what we refer to, which I've already said, is the preliminary notices. Staff is now presenting for approval Resolution 232425, a resolution authorizing the layoff of 1.4049 full-time equivalent classified positions pursuant to the listed education code sections, effective again June 30th, 2024. If approved, these preliminary notices will be delivered to affected employees by March 15th, the statutory deadline, and the final decision will be brought back to the board during the initial board meeting. And if I may, in anticipation of the potential next question, this is a circumstance so that we go through annually based upon enrollment where we're right-sizing. That is the term we use for enrollment changes in regards to different classified employees at different sites. What we attempt to do in most cases is, if the reduction does not work, is we try to find additional time in other positions within the district. So we have the ability to make sure that these people stay employed with the district, albeit they may not have the opportunity to stay at the one school that they want to be at, for lack of a better term. So thank you. So if I may, recommended action this evening is motion to approve Resolution 232425, a resolution authorizing the reduction of classified school services pursuant to education code sections 45101, 45114, 45117, 45298, and 45308, effective June 30th of 2024.
Thank you, Dr. Limoges, and thank you for the clarification. You were able to anticipate correctly what my question was going to be. I do just want to take a moment, though, to say thank you, because there are districts throughout the state that unfortunately are having to grapple with some pretty serious budget cuts, and that means layoffs. And I know that it was the desire of this board to do everything we could to prevent that from happening. And so a additional shout out of thanks to our CFO, Jennifer, and previous Barbara Patterson for their great work that allowed us to have strong reserves to be able to weather a little bit of this time. So thank you again, although right sizing is not fun. Thank you for clarifying that this is a standard practice of right sizing. Any other questions from trustees? Seeing no public comment, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
First by Trustee Counter, second by Trustee Price. Georgia, will you please call the roll?
Nayeli Glode.
Yes.
Julie Hupp.
Yes.
Rochelle Price.
Yes.
Derek Counter.
Yes.
Michelle Sutherland.
Yes.
Tiffany Sadoff.
Yes, motion passes. Moving on to item 9.5, Superintendent Stock, will you please present action on vote for 2024 California School Boards Association Delegate Assembly Representative?
Yes, President Sadoff, trustees, CSBA's delegate assembly is a vital link in how the governance structure of that organization works, and it really works with local districts, county offices throughout the state, and the CSBA staff to ensure that the association reflects the interests of school districts and county offices of education throughout the state. Delegates are elected by CSBA member boards, such as our board, and the delegates are elected to represent a 2-year term. And then nominees come from geographic areas within the CSBA structure. Nominations were accepted during November and December, and the ballots are due by the 15th of this month. Trustee Sadoff is currently serving as a member of the CSBA Delegate Assembly for a term ending in 2024, and actually is on the ballot for the Delegate Assembly as well at this time. It's before you tonight.
Thank you for clarifying and presenting the item for us. Are there any questions from trustees? No? Is there the possibility of a motion to approve?
I would like to present the motion to move Trustee Sadoff and elect Trustee Sadoff as our representative in our area, or move you forward in the voting process.
Thank you.
Say it that way.
I'll second that.
All right.
You. That would be first by Trustee Counter, second by Trustee Price. Georgia, will you please call the roll?
Nayeli Glode,
Yes.
Julie Hub,
Yes.
Rochelle Price,
Yes.
Derek Counter,
Yes.
Michelle Sutherland,
Yes.
Tiffany Sadoff.
Yes, motion passes. Thank you. That completes our action items for the evening. We will now move on to non-agenda public comment, item 10.1. Just a few important reminders as we get the cards ready. This agenda item is to give anyone in attendance an opportunity to address the board concerning any non-agenda item within the subject matter jurisdiction of this board. The board will not take action on any item not appearing on the posted agenda, but may refer the matter to staff for follow-up. A complaint about a specific employee of the district shall be made to that employee's immediate supervisor or the principal as required by Administrative Regulation 1312.1. To protect student privacy, we ask that you please refrain from using student names or identifying characteristics. Please be mindful that students may be watching this meeting. Please fill out a green public comment card. I will call your name to invite you to the podium and will state who is on deck. When you approach the podium, we ask that you please restate your name, the city you live in, and the school your children attend. You will have 2 minutes to address the board. All comments must be respectful. Please no profanity. Looks like we have 6 public comment. So we will go ahead and get started again with public comment for non-agenda items. Up first will be Harley Larson, and on deck will be Jen Brookover.
Hello, board. Harley Larson, Rocklin, Breen. I've heard this board say how every dollar matters, which confuses me just a little bit. Now, I'm not in finance, so I might need a bit of help in understanding the budget, but the September budget for legal services was listed at $482,000 adopted, $482,000 revised. The next month revised went up to $569,000, a few months later $600,000. With today's budget, we're at $714,000 revised for legal services, up from $482K. Is that going to stop somewhere? Is there a reason that it keeps going up? I'm open if somebody can clarify why that's happening, but it looks like we were expected to spend $482,000 over the year for legal services, and now we're up to about $800K. Last year's science curriculum adoption was a lot of wasted money. You put all these things together, and we're talking multiple teacher salaries. Now, I don't know about any other parents, but my kids' classes are pretty large, and multiple times a year, I hear them saying that there's a new kid in class. Smaller class sizes are something that the teachers' union advocates for, and I'm very interested to see how this board reacts to those requests this year. Board majority, anytime you can stop wasting taxpayer dollars and harming kids. Residents, 2 of these 4 are up for re-election this year. I'll see you at the voting booth.
Thank you, Harley. Moving on to our next public comment item, Jen Brookover, and on deck will be Kara Anzalone.
Good evening, Board. Jen Brookover, Rocklin resident, Valley View parent. Parents are questioning why they should bother attending board meetings or write emails to the board. Many of us email you and don't receive a response from the majority of you. Last spring, after teachers, staff, and parents participated in the process to adopt a new science curriculum, you voted against it. And then Trustee Hupp asked for Christ-centered individuals to be on committees, excluding parents and guardians of different faiths or those who don't practice or believe in religion. Hundreds of community members, parents, teachers, and students pleaded with you to not vote for the trans outing policy, but you did anyway. Now the California Department of Education is threatening to take away our funding because by following this policy, you are violating students' rights. Yet you're appealing it. And for what and for whom? Because from the optics, these decisions are not supporting our district, our teachers and staff, our community, and definitely not our students. From a public records request, we learned that the total legal expenses for 2020-2021 school year was $1,148,322.33, and that was just 1 year. I'm on the LCAP advisory committee, and we learned that the COVID funding we received from the state, which was used for a variety of resources, such as learning recovery teachers, was one-time funding. Many of us would like to know what resources will have to be cut because of lack of funding because of your decisions. So that leads me back to the initial question. Why do we as parents and community members continue to email you and show up at board meetings? Because we are invested in our children, the dedicated and amazing teachers and staff, our schools, and education. We keep showing up because we know that our kids and the students in this district matter and deserve a voice and our advocacy. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Moving on to Kara. On deck will be Millie Ann.
My name's Kara Anzalone, and I am a Rocklin business owner. I own Rejuvenate Wellness Spa here in town. I was in Loomis for 16 years, and now I've been around the corner on Myers Street for 5. I apologize because, I walk in here and I hear all these wonderful things that the district is doing. This is my first board meeting that I've attended. And so when I got the message that I should show up and make a public comment about the outing of transgender and non-binary students, I kind of felt when I was sitting here I was in the wrong place because of how could this be happening in this school district. My son, who is now a young adult, is a transgender person, and he went through the Loomis School District and Auburn School Districts, attended many different schools in the district, never found a home, ended up at Del Oro for 1 semester, and then put himself, because I had homeschooled him for 4 years as a single mom business owner, he put himself through independent study to graduate high school. So he basically graduated high school after attending school for 1 semester. And he's thriving now that he's not in school, but I'll tell you, being in school was absolute hell for him. So I just want to make this comment, and I ask why this is happening. I wonder if it's because you're trying to cut back on the inconvenience of it all. I'm just shocked that anyone would want a transgender or any child to think that how they feel and how they are is wrong. Just because we're responsible for our children until they're 18 years old does not give parents
We do have a 2-minute time frame, so I do apologize. Time is up for public comment. You can finish your sentence. I do have to be fair to everybody in the room, but I would be happy to talk with you more afterwards and even follow up either if you want to remain in the room or I could give you a phone call afterwards. In the open. Apologies for that, but I'd be happy to follow up with you after the meeting or, okay, thank you. Thank you, Kara. Next up is Millie Ann, and after that will be Bruce Yandel.
Millie Yan, with Rocklin parent with 2 kids in Quarry Trail Elementary. I want to say that when the Department of Education rejects your appeal to maintain the parental notification policy that you adopted, I request that you desist from pursuing the legality of the issue in court, because you're not doing this for parents or children. You are doing this because of religion. I know that Destiny Church was advocating to support RUSD's illegal parent notification policy in the February 10 Destiny show. Your motivation for what you call a parents' rights policy is not actually about parents' rights. Your motivation for the policy, the motivation is through the American Evangelical Council agenda to insert Destiny Church's religious beliefs and practices in public schools in some so-called holy war for biblical justice. Bringing the kingdom of heaven to earth, those are the words that Tanner DeBello used on that stage, through your parental notification policy is entirely inappropriate for your roles as trustees of public education.
Of the board. Thank
and that's
you.
all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. Bruce Yandel, and up next we will have Shannon Cantanella.
Hello again. I'm a parent of Bruce Yandel, parent of Quarry Trail Elementary. Since I'm asking to reconsider the outing program, we obviously are now facing another big financial expenditure with the elections, and we were also involved in one lawsuit, and we're going to go through another appeal thing. So I don't know how much money we think we have in this district to go after this issue, but I do know that on Friday is the Social and Emotional Learning Day, and that's part of our LCAP objectives and our goals, and everything within that program and everything within the messaging of that program is totally counter to the outing policy. So I don't know and what messages you're trying to send to this community, but basically having one policy and spending money to defend it versus having another policy which is just words, which one are we following? Where are we going? What's our path? I like the program that we're talking about with social and emotional learning. I like the LCAP program. Everyone sat here in the last meeting and approved it and thought it was great. That's what I want to pursue. I don't want to pursue any other agenda. So please, please reconsider the outing program. Let's follow up on our words. Let's follow up on our actions. Let's support the community in a way that will actually be a positive reinforcement of our values. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. Next up, we have Shannon Cantanella, and following will be Rex Carpenter.
Hi, good evening. My name is Shannon Cantanella. I have children in the Rocklin Unified School District. I'm reading the rules up there for public comment, and I know we don't like everyone's public comment, but public comment is public comment. So please allow me my 2 minutes. What I have to say is going to be very quick, and I won't use any profane language, which I know used to be one of the rules, but it's gone. So I could if I wanted to, but I won't. So the new language says that individual speakers will be allowed 2 minutes on any agenda or non-agenda item, and the board may equitably, I love that you use the word equitably, that's super cool, equitably adjust the time and input for the time allotted for each speaker. So I'll be brief. I am so glad that we adopted science tonight. I am so glad that we didn't find anything triggering or transphobic about any of the material. I'm super glad we have science. And I want to comment on one pill can kill, Superintendent Stock. It turns out one trans outing policy can also kill. Have a great night.
Thank you, Shannon. Now we have Rex Carpenter. Next up will be Faith Lyles. Thank you.
Hello, Board. My name is Faith Marie Lyles, and I'm from Smartsville. I'm a teacher at Catalyst Kids in Sierra Elementary School, and I'm a CASA for Placer County. Not only in my time as a CASA, but also as a teacher, one of my biggest things I do is advocate for my kids. I'm conducting a research study currently with Sacramento State University on the impacts of perceived parental rejection on the mental health of LGBTQIA+ adolescents. And one of the biggest things that has come up in my research is that these children struggle to find safety in their own caregivers. I'm not a parent, but I love my CASA kid and my kids and my students as if they are my own. And as a member of the LGBTQIA community, it breaks my heart to know that these transgender students are being outed and forced to come out is disgusting. Something in my CASA training and in my job we are taught is to take our own personal agenda and put it aside when we are trying to support the children. So tell me why board members can't take their own personal agenda and put it aside for the safety and sake of our children. If you're wondering why your child won't come out to you or tell you these things, maybe you should take a look in a mirror and consider for a moment that maybe you did not create a safe environment for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Faith. It looks like we may have accidentally skipped Rex Carpenter. Rex, are you still here? Oh. Welcome to the podium, Rex Carpenter. You'll be our last speaker for public agenda item.
My name is Rex Carpenter. I moved to Rocklin in '93, just down the street from Rocklin High as they were finishing construction. I personally do not understand what your personal agenda is. I just can't get to it. I don't understand it. My agenda is to ask you to rescind your outing policy. My agenda is to ask you to stop wasting my taxpayers' money on lawyers to defend what you want to do on your agenda and spend our kids' money. My agenda is to stop embarrassing the city of Rocklin and Placer County. You're embarrassing all of us. Just get back what you were elected to do. Help our kids. Thank you.
Thank you, Rex. That will conclude item 10.1. We'll move on to item 11.1, pending agenda items. Trustees, do you have any items to place on the pending agenda?
Yeah, I wanted to, I don't know if it would be pending agenda, maybe eventually. But I know, so President Sadoff, you and I had talked briefly about some of the data that had come through recently when we heard about the LCAP, some of the California dashboard performance data. There was some California Healthy Kids Survey data. There have been some parent and staff and student advisory meetings that have been going on. So when we talked, I'm just wondering if maybe we both or a different trustee would be interested in getting some deeper information about specifically some of the areas, I have them listed here, but where there were some disparities in the student group data. So there was some data we received on harassment and bullying, particularly African American and Hispanic Latino student groups. We saw some academic achievement gaps in those student groups, but also English learners, socioeconomically disadvantaged, and we saw some gaps in suspensions for our student groups. So I wanted to see if we could maybe kind of have a two-person committee and talk to some of the relevant district staff to just get more information. I'm thinking like what interventions are currently in place, what is being planned through the LCAP or through other means to address that. Just thinking that these student groups that we have all have kind of some unique needs so that we can learn more about that and maybe have it presented out.
To my colleagues, I would like to reiterate, Trustee Sadler and I were able to have a conversation because at the last meeting, we were both really concerned about some of the information that was presented to us, specifically the California dashboard and the California Healthy Kids survey. And we were able to call some of that data out that we were concerned about in that meeting. And although we know that the LCAP as a whole overall will be coming back to us, we both really felt like it was important to dive deeper into that information, specifically with some of these academic gaps that we're seeing and these disproportionate experiences of bullying and harassment that we're hearing from certain groups within our district. And so I think it's incredibly important work. And Superintendent Stock, would that be a possibility if the other trustees are okay with it, that Trustee Sutherland and I could set up a formal meeting, possibly with you, maybe even Hannah or anybody in cabinet, to really look at what we're doing in specific to really see improvement in those areas? I know we've been able to talk about some of these gaps for a few years, and I think it's really important to our community that we show them that we are not only putting dollars behind it, but that we're actually seeing action this calendar year.
Yes, Trustee Sutherland, Trustee Sadoff, President Sadoff, we would welcome the opportunity to engage in a deep dive and I appreciate the listing out of the areas, and we'll go back and review the notes from the February board meeting to help us understand. But we'll bring staff together and provide the information requested on the data, what some of the actions are taking, and that may provide a give and take with you, both of you, with staff, key staff around what we're seeing, what we're thinking about proposing as potential actions related to the LCAP. And so we actually welcome the opportunity to have that conversation.
Yeah, sounds, yeah, thank you very much.
Sorry, so everybody can hear. Does that cover the items? I know we had talked about some specific data points we were concerned about, and I know you were able to list some of those. Does that, trustees, any questions or concerns about that?
So we'll work to coordinate that with your calendars prior to the LCAP coming back, because the next stop, if you will, on the LCAP journey is to bring back to the board proposed actions that are developed from all the input. So we'll work to make sure that we have that conversation prior to that, so that any of that input can assist us as well.
Thank you.
Great, thank you for bringing that up. Any other pending agenda items? No? Seeing and hearing none, the meeting is now adjourned to closed session.